So this thing about taking things personally, yeah, you can see where you took something personally and you could have done better. You didn't need to take that personally. But the person who made you feel like that could have been a little bit more gentle, could have been a little bit more sensitive to everybody, right? Including us when we make a claim or a statement or we want to make a point. We have to think about that before we start talking, all right? So taking things personally, you don't want to be a victim of that, but you also don't want to be the one who causes that, a person to feel like that. Okay, now, if you're conscious of that and you're careful about how you deliver what you're attempting to convey, and they still take something personally, then that really is something that they need to look at, because they're kind of looking for it, They want to feel like that. They're used to feeling like that. For some reason, they keep being drawn to feeling like that. And they'll pull it out of anybody. They'll make it happen out of anything, okay? So sometimes they do that, and there's not much you can do about it. They're just like sucking it all up, But, be more sensitive about how you make your delivery, you convey your message and make your point, and, and just be a little more gentle with each other. That's what I want to say. Okay.
Some people think that everything they hear is directed at them, personally.
Yeah. It's like they've been so charged up with hypersensitivity that they don't know what's going on anymore. They've been maybe criticized all their life, okay? You don't know that person until you walk in their shoes, right? So everybody has their hot buttons. Some people are just a bleeding heart. They're an empathic personality, and probably what they should be doing is something that they can utilize, that part of them, that talent, that gift. It turns out to be a curse if they don't find a way to apply it in an avenue that's suited to that. So they're not taking the blows because their heart is open. But always realize that we all have a part in this. There's the person that conveys the message that might be a little too harsh, could lighten that up. There's the person who is extremely sensitive and they just take it all personally, and they need to work that out. This is about a test. So when you feel that hit you right here, it hits you and you feel like you're going into defense mode, or not. Maybe you feel like what I was talking about, and you take control of you, not the situation. Leave the situation, it's on its own. Leave it alone. You are the one you need to take control over, okay? And it's really about your ego. It's a test about how healthy or unhealthy your ego is right now. If you really take it personally, your ego is the one that's involved. This part of you would never get involved in that, but the ego would jump right on it, okay? So their ego comes right at you. Pow! You feel it, okay? Because you are definitely in both worlds. You guys are. You guys are conscious. You know about where you came from. You feel that working for you. And you're also in this world. Just like everybody else. You got to fend for yourself. You've got to survive. All those feelings. And you've got to put up with people like the one that just laid that on you. The ego jumps right on that one, all right? Because your ego, what it's really trying to do, it's trying to protect you, just like it did when you were a little kid and you didn't know what to do. You couldn't think that fast, okay? Your ego jumped in there and saved you. Well, your ego needs a break, okay? So that this can come back. This is another way of explaining this. And you can put yourself back together again, calm down, and reconnect, okay? That's what this is. So that's what you guys need to do. When you do this, when you're faced with this, when you work through it and you meet the challenge, okay, in any way you do it, you might not meet the challenge as well as you wanted to, that one time, but the next time you'll be more prepared, and you'll work on being connected more, and calm yourself down and move into that energy that lets you connect, know, okay, and trust this, okay? And out comes the truth. The simple truth will come out. And will never attack the other person like they just attacked you. It will never attack the other person. This will attack the other person, the ego, in this world. This will not. This is wise. This has lived many, 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 many lifetimes. It's too wise for that. It will not get sucked in to the ego. So let this start coming in. In order to do that, you've got to not pounce on that situation, but like I said before, you need to breathe, and you need to let this reconnection happen, so that, and let that person, they'll keep talking, they'll keep going, they'll carry that dead space, and you'll just come out with something brilliant that even you didn't know was laying under the surface, okay? When you do that, write it into part 3. Write in the attack, write it in there, and then write in what part of you played a part in the response, and tell the truth. And each time you do this, you are going to get stronger. The you that's here, that's real, that's really who you are. Not the ego that's trying to save you all the time. All right? Yeah.
And be sure you write down how it made you feel before you talk about how you reacted to it.
Yeah, that's part of part 3. It asks you a few questions to keep you aligned with the full experience, so that when you do go back and revisit that, the whole point to this is when you have it in here, you write it in here, and you date it, and you tell what happened, and how you knew it came from whatever, and how it felt, and what your reaction was to it, and all this kind of stuff. And tell the truth. Tell the truth. This is the truth that you tell in here. Nobody sees this. This is the truth. And you look back at it, you refer back to it, and you guys, you're going to do 50% better the next time, just like that. But you got to write it down. You got to start tracking your steps, what you're doing, how it's feeling, how you're working through it. This is a book of consciousness, is what this is. When you're in this world doing this, you're unconscious. It's nothing but a knee-jerk response. When you're coming from this world, it's full consciousness. You are absolutely present and connected, okay? And whatever comes through is brilliant. And it's not an attack. It's not your ego duking it out with their ego. No. It's completely not the case. And that person will have a whole new respect for you. They really will.